Good morning, everybody. This is Amy, your hidden consumer expert. Thank you, everyone, to who has bought the book, who are reviewing the book, all that's happening. Keep it up. I appreciate it. If you haven't read the book yet, I will. I would love it if you could. You can buy this book, my book, The Hidden Consumer, anywhere you buy books. So I don't have a link directly on the website for The Hidden Consumer. Well, there's multiple links if you look at where to buy, but there's no direct link to me. You can support my publisher, Broad Book Group, though, if you go to where to buy and look for Broad Book Press, and you can buy directly from them. I still get a portion of the price of all books sold, so it doesn't matter where you buy it. You just might get it faster. All that good stuff. So thank you for everybody first and foremost. But the book, even though it's only been out for a couple of weeks, has already really solidified the next direction that I needed to add to my company. I've been helping people with food and how to handle um, really how to handle their issues with that they're struggling to find with food. What is it they're having an issue with? What are they reacting to? Not everything is corn. Um, so as much as it is for me, it's not for everybody else. But what I've been able to help people do over the last decade is really get in and figure out why things are making them sick. And then once we figure out what exactly, we can actually get to the point of, okay, what is it that's causing the issue? And I can do that relatively quickly. Because I am a super sensitive to corn, my depth of knowledge of how ingredients and materials and everything is processed and packaged, how that all happens, it's my depth of knowledge typically beats most people in whatever industry they're in. I've even talked to food chemists who are shocked at the information I bring them. And I have the research to back it up. Again, that is on my book website, research documentation. A lot of my research came from multiple peer-reviewed sources, so look that up. You don't have to read it, but you can see the sources. But again, because of how sensitive I am, I had to really dig in deep to find out how things are done. So what I'm doing with all this, and I just had a thought that I had to write down quickly. Okay, sorry, because it's going to be talked about here briefly. So with all this happening, I am going to launch the whole new division of food coaching. This is really personal coaching, families, individuals. I'm really good at experience with obviously chronic pain in food, perimenopause in food, because I've been going through perimenopause for at least 8 years now. So there's a few things that I can do really tie in, but really the people I work best with are the ones who are struggling to find out what they're having an issue with. So with that said, let me show you what what I'm working on, and how you can learn more will be at the very end here. So with the expanding into the personal coaching, I'm still doing my work with the businesses, right? Because we still have to get better transparency in marketing. Oh, look, that's a fun way. Yeah. We still have to change the marketing world. We still have to be honest about how we talk about food. So I'm still there. I'm still doing that work. I'm still working with businesses who are trying to find their hidden consumer. But because of the book, there's been a huge push for me to go into helping others find out what their issue is. So with this, I am launching the whole food coach side of this. Right now, I'm debating on like 3 different programs. I'm looking at what's going to be best, what's going to be included for people who work with me. All of this will be announced to my people on my newsletter the week before Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving week, that Monday, this will go out. This is going to be big. I'm going to talk about it. I'll have pricing ready, and I'll have more details. Right now, what I've got done though are my resource guides, and this is what I just had to write down. I've had 3 out of 4 ready to go. So, in the resource guides, there's gonna be different sets and sets of 4 types of resources. Because of my depth of knowledge, I have to really be really specific on how I write things out, otherwise we'll end up with one of my first 3 versions of the book. We don't want that much information. We gotta keep this, simple, and that's the plan. So my first set of resource guides are gonna be the base set. It's gonna include a food tracker that talks about not just your symptoms and time of day, what you're eating, and the ingredients, but we're also going to be tracking your emotions. One of the things I learned in my journey is the food we eat has a huge effect on our emotional state. And if we are in perimenopause, even more so. The food we eat is having a huge impact on our symptoms. So that's the first resource guide. The second guide that will be in here is 5 recipes. One of the things I thought I can talk about how I switch out ingredients and what I do, but I thought it would be more fun, especially now that we're coming up into the holiday season, if I put out like 5 recipes, mostly desserts. This one's like 3 out of 5 recipes are going to be desserts, but I talk about where I found the original recipe, what my ingredients look like versus the ingredients that are in the recipe, and then I give the breakdown of what I do when I bake them, or my husband bakes them. In either case, so the resource guide is not just recipes, it's going to be expanded information as to the brands I use, why I use specific brands, and then what the variations are. So it's a slight substitution guide in it as well. But again, it's more than just a recipe. Sugar cookies are going to be one of the recipes, oatmeal cookies, I've got homemade granola as well, and then my sourdough bread recipe because I make sourdough bread twice a week. It's the only bread I can eat, which will go into discussion about different yeasts and stuff like that. I'll cover that again in another guide. And then the last recipe is just like a basic meal. What does a basic meal look like for me? Meat, potatoes, all that stuff. What do I have to do? And some of this stuff actually takes into the point that I am chronically ill. So I can't stand for hours in the kitchen to get something done. So how do we have this amazing meal with spending like 45 minutes or less in the kitchen? And that's what that will be. So I'll talk through that in that part of the recipe. Now, the third guide, I've got to read it off my list, is the important one, because this is the base set. My thought was, how do we get information together that really helps guide you into that next level of getting set up? So the next one is food storage, because a lot of the food I eat are like vegetables and fruits. I'm going to put some tips and tricks into the book about how I can keep food last longer, things I've had to do on like amazingly hot days to transport my food so I get just as much longevity. A majority of my fruits and vegetables will last 2 to 3 weeks in my house. And eating every day, but with the amount that I have to buy on a weekly basis. While most people I talk to says, fresh fruit and vegetables only last a couple days. Well, there are ways to make things last longer. So I'm going to bring those tips and tricks into a resource guide to show you how you can make the fresh veg last longer. That's what we need. And then the last one, which is the one I was just writing down, as I realized if we're doing this, we're still going to be buying, we're going to have questions, right? We're going to reach out to more companies. We're going to ask them questions. So I'm putting together a customer service red flag guide. What kind of questions do you ask? And based on that response, do you buy or not buy? 99% of the time I don't buy because marketing company, the food and beverage industry has no clue. They just don't, which is why I do what I do to bring education. So the customer service guide is going to be just what can you look for and how can you have those conversations with people when you're trying to buy their product. And then the other big thing, because I just have to go all in. It's starting January, I'm going to be running quarterly courses on what's on your table. And these are really going to be discussions around specific foods, specific items. My ask for people who attend this is that when you come in to these events, bring your favorite food, right? Think about something that you like to consume and let's talk about it. And let's see if it's healthy. Is there healthy alternatives? Do you know enough about that food? One of the things that will be coming out in January as well is my Trader Joe's shopping guide. I cannot shop at Trader Joe's. To me, Trader Joe's is no different than going to any other grocery store. So I'm going to put together a guide about why I can't shop there. But if you are going to shop there and you're going to spend that extra money on that food, what is it you need to look for to make sure you're staying safe? Because I can't even buy the cheese at Trader Joe's. Like it just is what it is. So again, it's that depth of knowledge, understanding where my allergen is. So what am I trying to avoid? What am I staying safe from? But I want to talk to you also about why is it not as healthy as they like to say they are. So we'll get into that discussion in that guide, but we'll probably do a what's on your table discussion around that as well. And I am still doing speaking engagements. So if you are a group, if you have someone who's looking to book someone and you want it to be on a topic, we can talk about the book and we can make it really specific to the group that I'm talking to, whether you're a business and you have marketing groups or you are a book club and you want me to, hey, I'll join your book club. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. One of the things my editor and I did talk about was putting together a book club guide. So, but I'm still out there. I'm still talking and all that good things. So that is what's happening between now and January, and then into January, all this will have launched. So, how do you stay up to date with everything that is going on? And that is pretty easy, I think. What you want to do is, let me pull up my next level here and get this shown. This is going to be in the chat for the video, so feel free to go into the chat to pull out this link. This is a link to the Hidden Consumers Consulting newsletter sign up form. I can actually just show you the form itself as well because it's up on another screen. So this is the form. We'll turn that off right now. If you fill up for this form, using this form, a couple of things. People on my newsletter list, I appreciate you signing up, giving me your information, which is first name, last name, and email address. You don't have to give anything else, but I appreciate you. So people on the newsletter list always get first dibs at any products I roll out, and you always get a discount on that product before it goes live to the public. So a week before Thanksgiving, anyone on my newsletter list will receive information about everything I'm doing, and you will receive specific details if you want on where to connect to, if you want details on the guides. The resource guides will not be free. It is a decade of research on my side of everything I've had to put into it. So there's going to be a nominal fee. Right now I'm looking at like $8 per guide, and then $30 for a bundle. We'll see how that pricing works out because I do want to be able to give a nice discount to a better discount to newsletter list people. So we'll see how that all plays out. But you'll have first dibs. When it comes to food coaching, you're going to have first dibs at my calendar. There will also be a discount for people on the newsletter to sign up and for what that cost will be as well. I'm not in this for free. Sorry, people. We have to still make money. I mean, that is the nature of the beast, correct? You're also going to get first dibs on my courses, the What's on Your Table course. When that launches in January, you will have first dibs at signing up as well for that. So newsletter people, you're going to be thanked as in many ways as I can come up with to say thank you for staying and being a member of my community. For everybody else who are like, I just can't do it, that's okay. I get it. I'm the same way. So I totally understand. Just know that you'll pay when I launch Thanksgiving, it will still be a discount because we're launching for Thanksgiving and we're leading into Black Friday and we're everything that's heading into January. So there will be a discount for my initial rates that will come out the week of Thanksgiving. And I might keep them in place until December 1st. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. Again, those are some of the details I have to work out in the next few weeks. And then in December, we'll start talking more about the What's on Your Table course and getting signups for that as well. Which again, if you're on the newsletter list, you'll get a slight discount on that. If you're not on the newsletter list, you'll have to pay the $10 to reserve your seat. Because of I am limiting this to how many people can be in, I do want to make sure that people who sign up do show up. So for that, because of that, I am going to be charging roughly $10 for people who get into those courses as well. So, all right. The other quick thing to know about my newsletter sign up list is, if you've read this at all, you have to check these two boxes for me to get any of this information. If you're like, I want the information, but I don't want anything else, and you don't check these boxes, all I get is a blank in my contact address that, yes, somebody filled it out, but they didn't check the boxes. This is to protect you. This is like, I'm all about marketing and being legal. How do we do this legally? If you are getting emails that you never signed up for, that is illegal. They can't do that to you. I am asking for this information to be sure that, yes, you are agreeing to be on my newsletter list. If you don't check them, I can't send you anything. So please be aware of that. I'm going to stop share because we don't need to keep looking at that. So please be aware of that. Everything I do is about not wanting to flood people's email boxes. I'm going to send one email with the various areas of what I'm talking about. But for me, I'm like, maybe once a month you're going to get something. The holiday times, yeah, you're probably going to get a few more than normal because it's the holidays. It's the end of the year push. I got big things coming up. I want to make sure everybody's aware. But once we head into January, you're going to see a little bit more of a trickle down. Like, it takes time. It's not something I want to spend all my time on. And I don't want to bore you guys. Like, we'll do some basic information. It'll be great. But for the most part, I'm not going to hound people who are on my newsletter list. I appreciate you being in the community. I appreciate you signing up. And I want to respect your rights as well as just respecting you and your day. Who needs one more, an email from one person that you end up getting like 5 or 6 times in a day? It drives me crazy. Drives me crazy when companies do that. Or you get like emails 3 days in a row. And I'm like, you've already talked about this. I don't need another email right now. I'm good. I got it. If I wanted it, I would have signed up the first time. It's kind of how I look at things. So you're not going to get reminder emails from me either. So be aware of that. So with that, I appreciate you being on this journey with me. If you are interested in learning more, sign up for my newsletter. You'll get first dibs. You'll get all those fun discounts. But for the most part, I just appreciate you. If you've read the book and haven't reviewed, please, you can review me on Amazon, bookshop.org, Goodreads. Get that information out there. What was one I would love to hear in the reviews? What is one thing you found shocking, or one thing you're like, I knew that, and I'm so glad there's some research now to back it up. Leave those comments. I'd love to hear those on the reviews. So again, thank you everybody for this journey. I'm really excited for where we're heading into 2026, and I will be sharing all this more information with you in the next few weeks. So have a great rest of your day. And